What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the left side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Moore. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Shelty. The map is Mirage. This is game number 2 of this best of 5 series for the relegation. First round of the relegations here. First game going to Shelty with some incredibly strong Greek play. Staying with the Greek theme, but moving into Zeus here for game number 2. We'll see what sort of a style Shelty is going to be going for here. The Zeus on this map, absolutely love it. You get a hyper accelerated Athena rush with the extra fish that you get to start with. You also can go for incredibly strong booms, getting your second town center up and hitting Apollo plays and all the good stuff that comes up with that. As we are seeing more here, starting with what I really like this idea here. Effectively, you don't need to drop a lumber camp if you do this. And there's only so much fish on the shore here that you need to actually get out. So you can actually manage to not even put a lumber camp up full stop here in these games. As Moore does need to be a little bit more careful about how many villages he has on food. He might be okay for the time being, but he will need an extra villager or two on that food moving forward here. Otherwise, he will get an idle town center time here, but a nice start nonetheless here from Moore. He's already got himself out 4 fishing ships, which is quite fast for Egyptian. Normally it takes a little bit to get going because you have to put the granary down first, you have to put the lumber camp down. The villagers take their time. But one thing that Moore hasn't done quickly here is get the villager onto gold early so he can get the temple up for a nice clean 4:30 advance time. With the second dot coming down here already for Moore, an interesting decision. He's also forgotten his house here in this game, ladies and gentlemen. It happens to the best of us, and it has happened to Moore here in this game as the Pharaoh coming over here with the empowered house. We'll get the house up much faster. There is an argument that for the Pharaoh to always empower this house in the early game. But after you finish empowering the house, you need to take that Pharaoh off and put it onto something else, obviously. Reason being is, at the early stages of the game, you've only got X amount of villages. So the Pharaoh empowering, say, 5 villages on a granary is only going to be getting 5 times 3 every 15 seconds or something, right? But if you build the house straight away at the very start of the game, you've only got 2 villages. So empowering that nice and early is makes a lot of sense because you're not losing out on any resources. That villager building the house will be able to get to gathering significantly faster. So technically the empowerment of the house is actually getting you more resources as well. Considering if we take a quick look at it, I'm pretty sure the house is 27 seconds. You empower it with the Pharaoh, it goes down to around about 14 seconds. So you're getting yourself an extra like 14 resources or so by empowering the house. A little bit of efficiency there from the Egyptians. Not a bad thing, but more forgetting to get the house down completely. Very, very bad. Building it with 4 villages as well. Also, even with the Pharaoh empowering, not the best of ideas, but Hermes now on the way here for Shelty. Not taking any risks here with an Athena. I do think the Athena, for the most part, is better in this matchup, but Hermes does give access to Spirited Charge, which can help increase the speed of those cavalry units. And that can be a huge help against chariot archers and everything else that comes with that. As we are seeing temples coming up on all the other good stuff. The big question really does become, and maybe I'm wrong about that comment before about Hermes not being the best play. Maybe Hermes is always the best play here. Being that Isis, unlike Ra, doesn't really have an amazing counter to cavalry. Like, you can build spearmen and you could build cavalry, but unlike Ra, the cavalry, they aren't that strong as Isis without the boosted HP and damage. And spearmen in general, they're just a little bit lackluster without a whole bunch of upgrades. So life can be a little bit tough as we are seeing the flood of the Nile coming in. More going for a very, very late advance time here. To be honest, I don't mind a late advance time here from ISIS if the plan is to go for a fast heroic. The problem with that on this map is kind of the big problem actually is there's just not that much food. And we are going to be seeing the Centaur already coming through and getting a lot of value, taking villagers out on this gold mine. Moore's not going to be having the resources he needs to get anything. And he might simply just be having himself an incredibly tough early game here at the start of this game. As we see Bast coming through, a villager going down will completely nullify any sort of advantage for advancing first here. But we do see the villager survives. Beautiful ghost building there as the pharaoh gets brought back. Moore does have himself 900 gold in the bank as we are seeing the prosperity coming through. Does he have himself pickaxe? Yes, he does. The pharaoh empowering it. We see the Odysseus coming in. The watchtower is through, getting the damage done. The Sphinx pops out. Will we see an immediate bolt onto that one? Not just yet, as the unit's going to be retreating back. Moore at this point does have the resources to get to that next age. He pulls the villagers off of that gold mine as the armory coming through. He's already got Shelty's already got his second Townsend, and we see Persing coming through for both players as well here. As the units of Shelty are going to continue to push through and try and pick off a villager or two. There's a whole bunch of very low HP villagers here, as now Moore can click up through Nephthys. He is going to be having a very, very trying time here as we see one villager going down there finally. First blood drawn after all of this pressure has mounted. The priest getting pushed back as Hands of the Pharaoh coming in to try and get a little bit more range onto these units. As the watchtower slowly starting to clean some of those heroes up. Shelty still trying to push through. Those villagers getting pulled back. The problem here for Moore, after all is said and done, he's going to have the gold, but he doesn't have any wood income. He doesn't really have any food income. So what's he going to be able to build here as the Sphinx is searching around? And we do indeed see double stables up here for Shelty. So he's not even building those archers that he was building with the Hades against Set, instead opting for just mass Hippocon. Makes a lot of sense with that idea, as we do see the Sphinx getting bolted. They're not going to be able to take any villagers out. Villagers now moving forward onto this mining camp as well. And we do see the monument to the villagers coming up now for Moore as he hits that heroic age. Relatively quick there, 7 minutes and 50 seconds. Though I'm pretty sure with this fish, you can hit a... As we see the Leviathan here as well, I'm pretty sure you can hit like a 6:30 or even a 6-minute heroic gauge here with Isis with a really refined build order. If you want to be going for that early Ancestors Eclipse kind of attack, you can go for those crazy builds. As we see a War Elephant coming out, Shelty going to be attempting to force a defensive Ancestors here. The Jason is very, very low HP. The Odysseus getting targeted down here as the Elephant pops out of this position. He can jump onto the back gold mine as well. It's not that big of a deal as the villagers are going to be pushing forward, trying to get a little bit of damage done. The heroes hiding underneath the Migdol stronghold for the time being, going to be helping him out quite a bit with that damage that's coming through. The Pharaoh does manage to snipe one of those centaurs as Shelty needs to retreat back. Moore's getting himself tons of elephant out here, gets 2 of them, and he's going to start going for those chariots. Elephant chariot archers, it's a incredibly strong unit composition if you can make it work. The problem generally is that with one Migdol stronghold, it just takes a really, really long time to get these war elephants trained. They take like 15 seconds to train, which, while in the grand scheme of things, like if you were making hoplites at 14 seconds, 15 seconds doesn't sound like a whole lot. But when you've only got one military building training units, it does take an age there for those to come out. It feels like it takes an age for those to come out. As Moore now moving forward with his villagers, going to potentially look to grab this town center on this position. Walls coming up over here as well as the units are going to be pushing forward. We do see the Scorpion Man pushing in here as well as Shelty going to be pulling back to his home position. But 2 town centers for Moore is going to help him out quite a bit here, though. Part of me wants to see, as we see now also cavalry coming out, part of me wants to see Moore not really going for the town center and putting more effort into going for a more effort going in for something a little bit different. a 6-minute heroic age is what I meant, not 6-minute clicked up. With the extra fishing ships and the gazelle and all that other stuff. There was a question there. 6-minute advance is definitely possible, in my opinion, for ISIS here. Whether it's good or not, I don't know, but definitely possible. At the very least, a 6-minute and 30-second heroic age is more than possible. It's now more moving into the middle of the map here. Going to be grabbing himself some gazelle. And he's still holding off on this attack. He doesn't actually have any siege yet. So pushing through this location is going to be really, really tough. With the stables in position as well. And Spirited Charge also coming through very, very early. I don't mind the early Spirited Charge in this specific matchup just because it helps against those Chariot Archers. But given the unit composition that more is made here, part of me feels like an armory and mail, copper mail is going to be much more valuable here than Spirited Charge. Armory, copper mail, copper weapons, those kind of upgrades, a little bit cheaper than Spirited Charge and a little bit more effective as well. As the Hippocon going to be retreating back up here. The villagers finishing up the cow on this position as the Scorpion Men going to be searching around for something to do. The third town center coming through for Shelty as he goes through Dionysus to boot here. He's still utilizing that Leviathan, checking things out, but neither player really going for all too much as the town center does finish up here. And now he does have the population lead. So this Ancestors Eclipse is going to bite Shelty quite hard here. However, like we said, no siege towers just yet for more. He's still making those elephant. He's still trying to push forward. Now the Chariot Archers coming through. Stable getting taken out. Shelty going to be pushing around here now to push in to take out these units as basically he needs to click Ancestors Eclipse really, really quickly. Great micro there from Moore to get those elephants into the right position as we do see the Chariot Archer able to take down the Odysseus there. And with no heroes remaining, Jason as well coming in. We see the ceasefire coming through there for Shelty. Clutch. I thought maybe Ancestors Eclipse at that point would have been really, really strong. Shelty's got two options here to deal with this Ancestors Eclipse. Both are really, really good. So one is he just gets out all three heroes and he tries to fight this one off and see what he can do. The other one is to just simply leave with his villagers. Force the Ancestors Eclipse through, get all his upgrades out, all the good stuff, leave his villagers from this position, run away, and just when the Ancestors comes in, allow the buildings to go down, allow the town center to come out, pull back in with the bronze, and clean up the army afterwards. But obviously more here. He's going to need to pick off a couple of villages. He is behind 20 civilian units at this point, which is a huge number considering it's Egyptian versus Greek. As the Scorpion Men going to be searching around for some villager kills here as well. As the bronze does get dropped early here for Shelty as he retreats back, but absolutely wild attempt here from Shelty. The army is completely cut off on this position. The Chariot Archer is getting a huge amount of value behind this tree. We do see the third town center is up as well here for more. He's controlled this one really nicely, if you ask me, as the Hydra gets pulled back. The unit's trying to jump onto that Pharaoh there to get that Hydra some value, but heavy Hippocon is in. Ancestors Eclipse getting dropped now for more. More does only have the one Migdol, but he is making Spearmen out as well, so he's going to be able to deal with those heavy Hippocon as well. No siege here, so effectively Shelty can just retreat if he so chooses, but he's deciding to stay underneath that fight and gave max value to the minions here. He's made his life a little bit challenging as another siege works coming up on this position. Will we see any other buildings coming down here for Shelty as the Odysseus does come in, does snipe the Scorpion Man that was getting some decent amounts of raids there. 22 seconds left on this Ancestors Eclipse to push in onto this location. Still no upgrades for the Spearmen here for more, which is effectively it allows Shelty to continue fighting here against those Spearmen and trading fairly decently with the heavy Hippocon, even though the Spearmen technically counter them. They are considered a soft counter to some degree, more at 141 or 145 population. Shelty at 130 of 145 populations. He's getting himself the watchtowers up. We do see the Heracles chasing the Scorpion Man away, but just gets out of range there. Scarmy pushing forward. Upgrades here for Shelty. He does have the Pierce armor in the second tier here, so Bronze Shield is through as well. As the Hippocon going to be breaking through these War Elephants nicely. Chariot Archers getting taken down here. There's more heavy Hippocon coming in onto this position to take all those elephants out. There's not a whole lot they're going to be doing anymore, and it looks to me like Moore's economy has completely kaput itself, but the villager differential at this point has become equal. So Moore, he's in this game solidly now after all is said and done, but he is behind on tech. While the villager count has gotten equal to, at this point, Shelty has been gathering more resources than Moore has here, and this is why he's got the heavy Hippocon. There is copper mail actually through though for Moore, which will help him out in these fights, but he's fighting down population as the Hippocon are just going to continue streaming through on this location as the siege towers rolling in to try and take out the town center. We do see the siege towers going down. Villagers getting cleaned up here as well. As Shelty, he's just got such a terrifying army for the ISIS to deal with. Obviously, heavy spearmen here would be a decent counter. Heavy spearmen with bronze mail or copper mail, copper weapons would be doing decently. But these naked spearmen, even with copper mail, they get absolutely melted by these Hippocon. 13 damage a second, 187 HP. Even though the spearmen have nearly got 50% hack armor, the damage dealt to each other is relatively equal after all is said and done. And the Hippocon have got more than double the HP of those spearmen. So it just ends up being a Hippocon victory in terms of resource count in a big, big way. As now the raids starting to look very, very terrifying for Moore to deal with. The villagers on this position, no defenses here. The gold's almost finished up, so Moore can just retreat from this position, but he's not paying attention there. More siege towers are popping out here, but can he make the push with those ones work here or not is the big question. As the Hippocon will be able to immediately take them down. They do have 300 HP, so when I say immediately, it does take them a little while as this Scorpion Man is still going after villagers here. As the villagers do dive into the town center, the Hippocon probably should be leaving on this location and hitting a different gold mine for the time being. There is this gold mine over here. There's still the gold mine on this position here, so plenty of gold there for Moore to mine. As Hephaestus is now clicked up for Shelty, and the thing is, even with 70 plus villages, nearly 80 villages here, even with 80 villages here, Moore will not be able to get the resources to go to the Mythic Age anytime soon. And he realizes that and decides to tap out in the 18th minute as Shelty manages to show some incredibly strong Zeus here in this game. Moore goes for that one town center fast heroic timing attack. I feel like he got an advantage here from it, but in the end, the resource differential is the key factor here. Look at that resource difference. It's 10,000 resources at the end of the day, or almost 10,000. So you have to kill, what is it? What is this, 120? Let's just call it 100. Let's just call it 100 for easy math. You have to kill 40 units. No, 100 units. You have to have a kill-death ratio of 100 to have an advantage here, and Shelty's kill-death ratio is in front. There you go. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.